Football Diehard Senior Editor Bob Harris. It's time for our Week 16 injury preview, review, update, and overview. Something we do here every week for those of you just catching up or getting ready to set lineups. Consider this your starting point. I'll give you all this week's pertinent injuries and do them chronologically to give you an understanding of possible fallbacks you'll need to have in place for based on kickoff times. And it's trickier this week. Got a couple Saturday games, got 3 Monday games on Christmas Day. So we'll dial all that in. As always, I'll remind you, I record this in the early afternoon. On Saturday, it's about 1:45 p.m. Eastern time. Things will change after I do this. The Monday injury reports aren't out yet. Getting a little bit of practice information in, but we'll have more information. So go to the website once you've watched this video. Hit the late breaking news section of the site for any possible updates, or hit the FSP staff cheat sheet. It's kind of your one-stop shop and it will have links to all the latest information for every player all in one spot. So do that. Also, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you're having a great holiday weekend, and hope you're heading into your fantasy championship or semifinal with a good loaded roster, and we'll dig through the injury issues right now. In case if you haven't been paying attention, there's a lot going on. Gifts to buy, things happening, all that kind of fun stuff. So let's get into it right now. I'll bring up my file here, and so I don't screw this up. Refer to my notes as I go through. So Saturday games, we have the Bengals at the Steelers. It's a mid-afternoon, I think 4:30 p.m. kickoff Eastern time. Jamar Chase is ruled out of this game for the Bengals. No Chase. Kenny Pickett ruled out on the other side. So Mason Rudolph gets the start at quarterback with Jamar Chase out. Jake Browning will be leaning more heavily on T. Higgins. Maybe Chase Brown, the running back, have been very good as well. So we'll watch that. And obviously the rest of the Steelers, you got to wonder how much of an upgrade Mason Rudolph is. I don't think much. So watch out for that one. It's a favorable matchup for some of the pieces, but not great. Bills are at the Chargers. Keenan Allen's been ruled out for the Chargers' second straight week with a heel injury. A little more just Josh Palmer, Jalen Guyton, Quentin Johnston, maybe Gerald Everett. Easton Stick will be the quarterback again with Justin Herbert out for the season. Ty Johnson's listed as questionable on the other side of the ball. Haven't seen him much. He's the third option in the backfield. Played a big role or got some work last week in Dallas, but that was kind of a blowout game, so I don't know that I would continue to expect that. Sunday's early games, the Lions are at the Vikings. Alexander Madison is listed as questionable. Ty Chandler is kind of taking control of the running back, the lead role. It's a tough matchup against the Detroit Lions, so watch that. Could be a little tricky, but Madison is questionable. If there is some Madison, maybe he gets a little running room, but it sounds like Chandler has taken over the lead role there. The Vikings, everyone's good to go, or the Lions, everyone's good to go. No injury issues there. The Packers are at the Panthers. A.J. Dillon, questionable with a thumb. There's the same injury kept him out last week. Jaden Reed has toe and chest injuries. He's questionable. Dontavian Wicks is questionable with an ankle injury. And Christian Watson is doubtful with a hamstring. He won't play. Wicks is a nice play if there's no Watson and a Reed. You'll want to watch that one. It's not great passing matchup, a good rushing matchup. Aaron Jones is off the injury report for the first time since week 1. Maybe fresher than he's ever been in December. So it was something to watch there, and it should be a favorable matchup. On the other side of the ball, all the pieces you're interested in are active and available, or will be active and available. Colts are at the Falcons. Interesting one here. Zach Moss was ruled out today. Michael Pittman Jr. is questionable. Not with a concussion. He's cleared from that. He's got a shoulder injury. You saw the big hit last week. The big news here, though, Jonathan Taylor off the injury report and ready to start in this game. Tough matchup against the Falcons, or at least not a favorable matchup. So be mindful of that. Trey Sermon will be there to chip in. Tyler Goodson. Both those guys did a great job last week, but expect Jonathan Taylor to get the bulk of the workload at running back. And we'll see. I think Pittman will practice fully the last 2 days. They had the non-contact jersey off him on Friday, so it seems like he'll be ready to go. Seahawks are at the Titans in a rare early afternoon kickoff for Seattle on the other side of the land from Seattle. Will Levis for the Titans is questionable with ankle injury. Seems pretty dicey. He did get on the practice field Friday after 2 did not practices. Ryan Tannehill standing by. Nick Westbrook-Akine has been placed on IR. He will not play. Kyle Phillips, wide receiver, also ruled out in this game. Chig Okonkwo came down with an illness. He is listed as questionable as well, so watch that. Other side of the ball, Geno Smith is back and starting. He's off the injury report completely with a groin injury that sidelined him the last 2 games, so he's eager to get back in the mix here. Kenneth Walker III turned up as questionable, had a shoulder injury. Didn't practice the first 2 games, got in some work on Friday. Pete Carroll says he's optimistic he will play. Also, Pete Carroll is often optimistic about things that maybe he shouldn't be. So this one bears watching. Like if Walker's up and playing, I would prefer to play him, to Zach Charbonnet, but check this one out and be careful. Commanders are at the Jets. No Zach Wilson. He's ruled out with a concussion. So Trevor Siemian will start at quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is obviously off the IR. He's been ruled out there. He's not going to play this year. But they are letting him practice and keeping him in the mix there. Israel Abanikanda, who got some snaps last week, is not going to get, well, he's questionable this week. So maybe less likely to get them this week. And what should be a great matchup if Trevor Siemian can help this offense leverage it against the Commanders. On the other side of the ball, Brian Robinson Jr. will miss another game with his hamstring injury. Chris Rodriguez and Antonio Gibson are next men up there. Jonathan Williams got some run last week. He's back on the practice squad, got a concussion. Don't know that he'll be a factor this week. The Browns are at the Texans. C.J. Stroud out again. This sounds like a bad concussion. He's still having some sensitivity to light. Case Keenum will get the start this week. And he should have Nico Collins. Nico Collins says he will play. He's listed as questionable officially. So watch that one. Noah Brown's off the injury report. He's been managing his knee issue in practice and avoided injury designation this week. The late afternoon window gets interesting here. The Cowboys are at Miami to take on the Dolphins. Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert off the injury report, good to go. Tyreek Hill, questionable, but seems likely to play. Almost certain, got on the field, been saying nothing but positive things about him. I would expect him to play, but you'll have to watch, and it's a late afternoon kickoff, so that adds a little intrigue to your decision-making. You need to have a fallback plan, fortunately. Multiple games in the afternoon window, a Sunday night game, and 3 Monday games. If you need to find a fallback, you could probably do that. The Jaguars are at the Buccaneers. We have news there today, just broke today. Trevor Lawrence has been cleared from the concussion protocol and is making the trip to Tampa. There's no reason to believe he will not play, that being the case. Officially listed as questionable with the ankle and the concussion. Concussion goes away. Ankle's still an issue, but expect him to play as he did last week. Zay Jones listed as questionable, seems less likely to play. We'll see. Hurt the hamstring in that game to go with the knee injury he'd already been dealing with. On the other side of the ball, everyone there is good to go. Love Baker Mayfield in this matchup. It's really favorable for the passing attack, and he has good weapons. Cardinals are at the Bears. Hollywood Brown has been ruled out. Marquise Brown, the wide receiver for the Cardinals, will not play. Has the heel injury, kind of been an issue for the last couple of weeks. Kept him from playing the full game last week. Greg Dortch, who kind of was the leading receiver, wide receiver. The tight ends are dominant there, and in particular, Trey McBride, who's got a decent matchup again this week. We have him ranked second on our board. He has joined the ranks of the elite truly because he's getting the workload. But Greg Dortch is listed as questionable with the shoulder as well. So watch that. Deontay Foreman is questionable for the Chicago Bears due to personal issues. He was not in practice Thursday. He came back Friday. Still got the questionable designation. So you wonder if everything's all copacetic there. Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson obviously in the mix as well. So it seems a little murky to me. Cole Kmet listed as questionable with a quad injury. Came up with Thursday. Seems local observers seem to believe he will play, and it's a good matchup for him if he does play. Great matchup for Justin Fields and DJ Moore as well. Sunday night game, Patriots at the Broncos. Bad news, Hunter Henry just ruled out a short time ago, Saturday afternoon. He had been originally listed as questionable. They ruled him out today, downgraded him, had the knee, saw the hit, had the 2 touchdowns last week. Will not have any this week. Mike Gesicki and Pharaoh Brown are next men up at the position. Juju Smith-Schuster are previously ruled out. Ramondre Stevenson previously ruled out, both with ankle injuries. Ezekiel Elliott, big workload again this week, and might be a decent matchup for him. So watch that. Greg Dulcich on the other side, ruled out, trying to work his way back from hamstring and foot injuries. Sounds like the hamstring's better now. The foot's an issue. Monday Night Football, or Sunday Night Football. No, Monday's day games. That was Sunday night. Monday's game. So the early kickoff is going to be the Raiders at the Chiefs. That's the early afternoon kickoff. Josh Jacobs did not practice Thursday, came back yesterday, listed with the same quad and added an illness. He worked on a limited basis. I'd say he's trending towards going. Won't be surprised if he earns a questionable designation, though. So have fallback options in place if that's the case. And otherwise, Kadarius Toney's worth watching. Jerick McKinnon's worth watching on the other side of the ball. Not clear if either of them will be ready. Watch the injury report when it comes out. Isaiah Pacheco, though, will be ready. He is not on the injury report, or has not been up until Saturday. It would be a surprise if he's added. He had the shoulder procedure done, cleaned up. Doesn't sound like it was a major issue. He was doing walkthroughs last week after it happened. So sounds like he'll be good to go in this game, and it's probably a good game to play him. The Giants at the Eagles. Devontae Smith missed the first 2 days of the week of practice. He was back on the field today. Don't know what the level of participation was. That'll come when the injury report's released. On the other side of the ball, there are kicker issues, right? Randy Bullock was hurt last week. They placed him on IR. Promoted Cade York, who they had on the practice squad. They had both of them. York hurt his leg and he's not going to kick, so they signed Mason Crosby. He will be promoted. So kicker drama for the Giants. Everyone else is good to go there. The Ravens at 49ers are the final game in the evening. Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham. Beckham missed some time in practice early in the week with an illness. Seems likely he'll be good to go. John Harbaugh expressed no concerns whatsoever about Zay Flowers with his foot issue. So watch that. Remember, there's no Keaton Mitchell. They promoted to Melvin Gordon to the regular roster this week, so they will still have a 3-man mix with the Gus Edwards and Justice Hill and Melvin Gordon. So there you have it, everybody. Week 16. We all need to win, or we won't be back next week. I hope you get your win, and I hope to see you here next week. We'll do the same thing and get you through the championship week. And I hope you have a great Christmas, everybody. Get a little time to celebrate with the family, watch a little football if that's your thing. And otherwise, we'll see you next week. I'm Bob Harris, over and out.